Hey, Tim Knight. Well, this is a really good day. Some days it's hard to look at this camera because things are going badly, but this is not one of those days. Everything's going right. I was bearish on everything except for crude oil. And everything's falling except for crude oil, which is blasting higher. So that's pretty cool. And gosh, there's a lot to talk about. This is one of those days, a 3-hour show I could easily handle because I won't shut up on days like this, but we will keep it confined to 15 minutes. Let's begin with the charts and talk about what is cooking out there. I'll begin by saying that, yes, I'm a chartist, but I try to also keep an awareness of politics and history and long cycles and so forth. I avoid talking about politics for obvious reasons. And it's hard sometimes because politics is so intertwined with the stock market these days. It's oftentimes the #1 driver of the stock market. So it's hard to kind of dance around it. But when necessary, I'll simply use the term the president when referring to that man. So when the president yesterday got it behind the podium and started bashing short sellers, it's like, okay, that's my signal. And I did something I rarely do, which is I got a really aggressive options position. Because you know me, I usually buy options that expire like 7 months out. But I got a ton of 750 to 752 strike spiders that expire tomorrow. And they went up 165% this morning. So that's pretty right on. That was my hate trade. Besides that one, though, I was already short a whole bushel of semiconductor and memory stocks, and those have all done really well. The one trade I was talking about yesterday that on the long side that I was thinking of doing, I didn't do anything about because I've been so busy, is going long energy. And it was doing well anyway, and then a half an hour ago it spiked higher because I guess the war's back on. So anyway, really good day, just knocking them out of the park, and everything's going sensationally well. Even Bitcoin, which has been quite frustrating lately, but even Bitcoin's falling. So here's the diamond, lifetime high today. And as your resident perma-bear, I love shorting stuff which is at lifetime highs. And I did so with the diamonds because they've been the odd man out. They've been the recalcitrant one that has refused to get beaten down like the others. So I decided, it's your turn now. So yeah, I've got a bearish engulfing pattern on the diamonds, short those. I've got 39 different short positions right now. And it's interesting to manage that many positions, I gotta say, especially when I've got a program now that's half an hour into the trading day. So on a morning like this, I have to really juggle the old balls, shall we say. The spiders are also down, but again, we are at exceptionally lofty levels. You know, this is not like the end of a 2-year grinding bear market where you have to agonize over whether it should cover or not. This is the tippity top. We were at lifetime highs today on the Dow, about 53,000. That's insane. And so I'm out of shorting power. I've got no money left. I'm so short I could jump off a nickel. Yeah, and I'll end the day that way. So the spiders are still quite high. We have hammered out another lower high. So here's the lifetime high, a lower high, lower high. So all that blast from last week, we're starting to curve away from that. And another prediction I didn't make yesterday, because don't let my physique fool you. I'm not much of an athlete. I was certain the U.S. would lose their soccer game yesterday. Absolutely positive, because that's just how hubris works. That's how cycles work. And when it's like, oh, they're monkeying around with sports now, it's like, well, that's doomed. And sure enough, just some things just like obvious. I should have said something because I could do a victory lap about that one too. But yeah, bullish on oil, bearish on soccer, and bearish on semis. EEM, the emerging markets. These guys are down pretty hard, over 3%. The EFA, in contrast to this, is actually near lifetime highs today. Don't know why, but EEM is down. I don't have a position in this. Like I said yesterday, I didn't have any big ETF positions. I had a medium-sized one in GDX short, that is the gold miners. And of course, I got a whole bushel of SMH puts, but that's not a short position. That's just a bearish position. FXI, China, had been recovering over the past few days. That seems to have stalled out. We're down about 0.25% right now. I'm not trading this. It's boring. I look at hundreds of charts a day, and there's a lot better fish to fry than Xi Jinping. I did a post on slopeofhope.com yesterday, which was about South Korea. And yesterday at 10 a.m. my time, I did a post basically saying that before the week's out, the semiconductor rally is going to die. And I was hedging then too, because what I wanted to say is like within hours. But, you know, you got to watch your predictions in this business, not shoot your mouth off too much. So I said this week. But it only took a few hours. And EWY is down 5.3%. That is the South Korean ETF. And the one the post was about, for those of you on Slope, remember, it was KORU, which is down 16% and has fallen precipitously and has undone the entirety of this huge rally it engaged in starting in May. So South Korea is getting blown to smithereens. And just like yesterday's hate trade was based upon the podium speech and the red card reversal, my bearishness on South Korea was promulgated from the New York Times article I've mentioned 3 times now about 21-year-old traders buying, borrowing money and buying stocks because they just seem to go up. Well, so that's all that took. That's when I got, because it wasn't that long ago I was terrified to short anything to do with semiconductors or memory or anything like that, because they just went up all the time. And I'm not nearly as dumb as I look, and so I wasn't doing that. But when I read that article, it's like, okay, that's there's my shoe shine boy moment. Thank you, New York Times. And so, yeah, that was the end of that. One of the gentlemen this morning asked me if I was bullish on precious metals, and I said emphatically yes, but long term. I think that gold, silver will have a very great future in the years ahead. Short term, no, not particularly. And as I said, the only precious metals position I've got is short GDX, the gold miners. Gold itself is down almost $60, and it's got a right triangle pattern, which we've completed, and I suspect will fall away from GDX itself, which, as I said, I'm short, is down over 4%. Beautiful reversal away from that rather sloppy top. So just going to hang on to that. I've spent the day basically tightening and lightening. That is to say, tightening up shorts where necessary, the stop loss positions, and lightening actually hardly ever. There was a little bit here and there. I've actually enhanced some positions. So yeah, just housekeeping, but mostly just tightening up stops. It's definitely, it's like ironing shirts. You know, it's laborious and boring, but it's important, and my favorite kind of day, because it's, you know, just kind of tending to business, pulling the weeds, trimming the deadheading the roses. You know how it goes. Mixing metaphors here. I didn't have a position XME, sadly, which, you know, shame on me, because as I've said over and over again, XME will underperform GDX. XME will do much worse than GDX, and it's falling nicely and consistently too. Look at this, tumbling away like so. I had been short this, I covered it, but it just keeps falling after that failed bullish breakout. So that's been nice to see, but no position, as I said, only GDX. The only thing I was bullish on, as I mentioned, is crude oil, and you know, it's not like it's up amazingly, but it's doing what it should. Here was the announcement of the war during that weekend. So there's pre-war, weekend comes out, hey, we're at war, and we spike higher. And over a few days, with increasing vigor, crude oil blasts higher and forms this pretty nice right triangle. And then as, you know, and all through this, it's like, you know, countless announcements about peace deals and talks are going well and yakety yak. But down, 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 and it sealed the gap. We talked about that yesterday. At least I did. We sealed the gap, and now it's starting to kind of turn up. So it would be very conceivable to see this push back to that price gap. And XLE in turn is up 3.12% and has pushed past its own price gap. So again, I have no energy positions in either direction, although wish I bought some oil, but I've been a busy little bear. IBIT, which is a big ETF for Bitcoin, did a yeoman's job of closing this price gap. Check this out. There's the gap. Look what it is doing God's work right there. There we go. So it closed it up. I've reshorted that. It's been exasperating because Bitcoin's been a little frustrating. In fact, a couple of hours ago, Bitcoin was just flipping higher, soaring higher. And the aforementioned president also boosted Bitcoin yesterday, which stopped me out of my MSTR and IBIT yesterday, because he said, the quote, something close to, crypto is more powerful than people think. Okay. And that's all it took. So, and it is useful. I short it all the time, but besides that, I have no idea what utilitarian ideas he's got in mind or its potency. But yeah, that's how I use it myself. But hopefully, this has exhausted its rally. BITI, which is the inverse ETF, has gotten hammered over the past 6 or 7 trading sessions. God willing, it has stopped falling. But my position is, I'm again, as of today, long biddy, short IBIT, kind of replicating there. As far as MSTR goes, Michael Saylor's MSTR strategy, this pushed up to this line level here over the past 3 days. And we will see if that can turn things around or not. It's tough to say. Hope so. Of course, that's at the mercy of Bitcoin. I don't have a position in this anymore. I got stopped out yesterday thanks to the Bitcoin is strong declaration. But yeah, there we go. As far as SMH goes, the key day was here, which was the 22nd. And that kind of ended it all. And since then, we've engaged in a couple of nice gaps down. So we gap down here, push back, beautiful seal of the gap, fell again, and we got a new gap today. This is why I was lightening up a little bit earlier, because we've really gotten beaten down. So it's tough to say. If we do rally, I would watch this gap closely in terms of being a resistance level. I've got 90 seconds left, so I'll just quickly take a moment just to bang through some of the shorts I've got that are related to tech and semiconductors. So Applied Materials, AXTI, this has been a wonderful trade. LITE, which is Lumentum. We've got Marvell, MRVL, which has sealed its own price gap to the downside. SanDisk, we talked about this yesterday. This has fallen hundreds of dollars. I'm not showing GLW, by the way, but it had a fantastic shooting star. I've got a post waiting that's going to come out at the close about that, but it's 5 days ago. Shooting star in GLW fell 33% over 4 trading sessions. That's a pretty cool candlestick. STM down 6.3%, just gap after gap after gap. STX down 5.27%, another gap there. VSH, Vishay Interactive, this is down almost 9%. Ciena, CIEN, also down a dainty 3.37%. Our old friend Micron, which has been getting pummeled for days here, this is down another 7%. SMTC down over 8%. Can't be bad. And then WDC, Western Digital, another one of my memory shorts, which is down and broke its price gap. Broke its trend line, also down about 9%. Just all sorts of delicious redness going on. So in closing, bottom of the hour, here's the NQ. We are at the bottom of the range. And the question that'll be answered by tomorrow is, hey, is this another buy the dip opportunity? Are we going to rally from here? Or do we crack below this level and set up a whole new wave of selling? I'm positioned for the latter, and we'll see how that turns out. But this is we're teetering right now at support. This is a very crucial level, whether or not we snap this or not. So I hope you're having a good day. I will see you here tomorrow, and good luck to you. Bye-bye.